The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback. Defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. No gain on the play there, second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Looking to throw on second down. Richard. Allen's got it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is third down and 6. Off the play fake. Richard. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So on fourth down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. This is taken around the 12. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And it'll be Titan football. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
All right, I'll look that up later. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he will find his man on the in route. Complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. First down, Titans, gain of 12.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can right foot in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
So here we go, first and 10 now. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Second down following the run. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
First down marker at the 31. It's third down. They'll set up a throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on third down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. It makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on third. Let's go. Looking to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line. He's sacked.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. On fourth down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go. That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Now they'll run on the draw. And some room to roam now. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. On first down, they go option to the right. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Now a carry here for Terrence West. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Back to throw. Richard. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is fielded at the 27. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Getting the sense Charles are going to put big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And his throw here is incomplete. His tight end, Philip Supernall, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
So incomplete on 2nd down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd. He'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. Yeah, yikes. Terrible kick, headed straight for the sidelines. And the Ravens taking the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Play action is supposed to be used to slow down pressure, slow down blitzes. In this case, though, if it takes a little too long to develop, you got people right in your face.
And lucky just to get rid of the ball with the arm going forward. Could have been a fumble. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Richard. Over the middle, complete. That's Haynes. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Now a toss. This is West. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. On the ground, it's West again. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 0-0 our score. We're back to Nashville right after this. Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. They've got it 3rd and 10 here to start things out. From the gun, Richard. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
They go play action here on first down. Try to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 18. There he goes left side. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
And this is good. Our score, 7-0 Tennessee. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, They're trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
To throw on second down, Richard. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Out come the Titans now. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The intended receiver, Taywan Taylor. That'll bring up second down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now a handoff looking right. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They'll set up to throw. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
This is taken at the 3. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on third down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down. Looking to throw on second down. Richard. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end. Take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Now they'll run it on the toss. Room to run inside the 40. Shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
zone now. They'll look to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
This is West. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Let's face it, 2nd and 1, playbook's wide open, isn't it? They could do just about anything. But after that, now you're 3rd and 3. I think the playbook has shrunk because now I think you're almost locked into throwing the football.
The Ravens on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Going to give this time to the tailback. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Adoree Jackson on the return. They juked him. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
They're going to look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. It's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff. Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. To throw on 2nd down, Richard. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Looking to throw. Richards. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. So the screen pass goes backwards. That play seemed to have a potential disaster written all over it from the start.
I mean, wasn't that a tough spot on the field to make that call? You're inviting defensive linemen and linebackers to get pressure. So if one of them sniffs this out, you're definitely in danger. And this time, it cost them 2 points.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. Here's Jackson.
And that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. In just 2 minutes' time, don't forget we'll get you to Orlando for our halftime report. To bring it to you, who else but Larry Ridley?
Now that man knows his football. Go get him, Larry.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Give him 7 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. The Titans on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards.
Offense.
You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
Now back to throw. And that is incomplete. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right, that pass will go from incomplete to complete.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You talk about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Looking to throw on second down. Richard is going to flip one out here to his running back. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And now here's a carry heading left. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. He'll take it a few steps in front of the 50. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Titans are going to start this drive in great field position as they take over 1st and 10. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position could get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And I know it seems like we say this a lot in broadcast booths, but a quarterback can hold on to the football too long in these situations. I think he did right there.
Oh, I agree with you totally. Sometimes you have to understand situations. Get rid of the football, save some yardage to make it less to gain for the next down. Instead, he was so hipped on ball security, he held on to it and took a big sack.
The Titans on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 19. Now a handoff here to his running back. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Titans are happy to be sitting in the locker room with the lead. The Ravens just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. All right, let's get it going. Here's the first half highlights. Now 1st and 10, Richards' throw under pressure leads to the turnover. Miles to one who would run it back for the score. They'll take the early advantage. in the second. Defense will get to the QB here. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. Titans up now by 9. Staying late in the half. Defense is going to come away with the sack. This ends up as a loss of 9. Still late stages of the second. Schlotteroff's got the sack here. This ends up as a loss of 9. So that'll wrap it up for us here at the EA Sports Studio. We'll head back now to Nashville for the start of the second half.
This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And his throw is incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
He'll drop to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus,
Yeah.
The mental focus of the whole
that's
thing.
true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Here's West. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards gets him back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10. The Ravens on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10.
Let's go.
Operating from the gun, Richard. He's going to look for Allen now on the deep ball. And, it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I tell you, you don't have press conferences when you sign guys like this. But he's been a real difference maker so far. That's now 2 interceptions for him in the game. And when you're getting contributions up and down your 53-man roster, you're going to be all right.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down. On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Titans get 14 yards there and move the chains as well.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. Now they'll run on the draw. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
The Titans on third down. Just one conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 7. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
And to give this time to the tailback. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. The Titans on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
No. Check.
He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall at the 12-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
I've yet to meet a wide receiver who likes to block more than catching the football, but the best ones understand that that's how they'll actually get more passes thrown to them if they help in the run game. And anytime you get a run of that yardage, that means the wide receivers did help. They get down to where a lot of people.
Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Play action. Richard. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Allen. And he's brought down after a good gain. That goes for a gain of 31. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred. Still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? So the offense has it 1st and 10. Back to throw. Richard. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot. Because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. But he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
Let's go.
To throw on 2nd down. Richard. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd down. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Nashville. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 4.
Off the bootleg.
Richard.
Hard throw, incomplete. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Looking to throw.
Richard.
And that is incomplete. The Ravens go for it but come up empty. And as a result, it'll be Titan football on the turnover on downs. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies.
Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. That's complete to Taywan Taylor. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another 1st down.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, he shifts past him and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball.
They'll drop to throw. His throw incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here. That looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete.
The Titans on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Got a man right side. It's Sharp. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the 1st down. Call it a pickup of 7. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Starting to feel a little to me like the air is coming out of the balloon, so to speak, defensively.
They're taking their role from them right now. That's what they're doing. Whatever they want to call, it's working. They're handling things up front. And it's not just the offensive line. It's everyone. You're seeing the guys on the perimeter blocking downfield and making sure that they're secure. So, yeah, you're exactly right. The air's out of the balloon, and right now they're almost lifeless.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And in this situation with the lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. And he'll give it here to his running back. Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And Succop will put this one right through. And that's going to bump up their lead now to 15-3. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took them a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
Throwing on 1st down, Richard. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Let's go! Brand 38!
From the gun, Richard. A beautiful fake. Throw left side complete. It's Jennings. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Around the NFL, they're in the 4th now in Green Bay. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. A win would be their 2nd on the young season. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Richard. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. the option right here on first down. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. Back to throw. Richard. But he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. To throw on second down. Richard. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
From the gun on third down. Richard. And that's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not give it up 6.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. Operating from the gun. Richard. And this is complete. It's Allen. And he will be brought down well shy of the goal line. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Titans are close to finishing off this football game. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that.
bash.
Super toe.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready.
The Titans go victory formation down to a knee. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Tennessee, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. Now they will hit the road next week for a date with the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they'll fall to 1-2, and they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Titans are winners here as we say so long from Nashville.